5 Live, a COVID outbreak in Stan Creek District. Is a body found floating off Placencia, the missing drug plane pilot? The Prime Minister talks about the unions and anti-union ads. And did the police leak copies of Jasmine Hartin's statement to the foreign press? These stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
Introducing Edam A cheese, the A+ Dutch cheese to hit the Belizean market. As the name says, it is of A-class quality, the best Dutch cheese in Belize. Edam A cheese is creamier, less salty, and simply more delicious. Don't be left out. Get your A cheese at a supermarket near you. A cheese, exclusively distributed by Unitex Company Limited. Call us at 610-3626 or 610-8910. Follow us on Facebook at Unitex Belize.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Fulltech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Voltec Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price but stay for the service.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, June 7th. I am Sabrina Daly. Tonight, residents of Santa Cruz Village are on edge after a cluster of 21 positive COVID-19 cases have been identified in their community. According to a release from the Ministry of Health, the virus was first discovered in a staffer at the Santa Cruz Primary School on the 3rd of June. Health officials then proceeded to carry out mass testing in the village, where an additional 20 positive cases were identified. The ministry is now planning a community event in the village on June 10th to carry out a mass swabbing and vaccination drive. News 5 spoke via phone with the chairman of Santa Cruz Village, Vincent Scott, about the preventative measures being taken.
Since Thursday, the medical team from Dangriga was here doing some contact tracing, and they discovered that we had, I think, about 3 cases. No? They came back to do a follow-up on Friday, and then they discovered more cases. So now we're at this number now.
What measures, if any, have been taken in the village to try to either quarantine individuals who have tested positive or to try to perhaps lock down Santa Cruz, as it were?
Since we got the message, me and the police officer, along with the village council, have been going from store to store, business to business, and enforcing the measures. No, make sure you have the wash hand basin, the social distance. You know, make sure that everybody, the stores, they have the numbers on the ground, so the 6 feet distance. No? And then also we have the team from Dangriga. We are supporting the medical team from Dangriga. They also went around with us and make sure that people who to be there to supervise the people who are cleaning up the stores and different things. Huh? So we right now at this point as we speak, we have the health team from Belmopan and also from Dangriga in the village. Today we are doing some swabbing and doing some follow-up now.
Last week, Coast Guard officers came across the lifeless body of an unidentified person 15 miles off the Coast Guard of Placencia, off the coast, that is, of Placencia village near Whipray Key. Could the deceased be connected to the recent drug plane that crashed off the coast of Placencia less than a month ago? The location where the body was discovered is only a short distance from Mohoki, the area where the crash plane's wings and tail were discovered. We asked police if they are linking the body to the drug plane.
I do not think that we would arrive at that at this point in time. We know, though, that we do not have anyone missing at sea in that area. The body has just been brought on land since this morning and is being taken to the morgue where a post-mortem is scheduled to be held.
Is there any sort of identification on the body, unique markings?
No, at this point, none. The body seemed to have been in the sea for some time now. So what was found would not reveal any form of identification or distinguishing marks.
According to ACP Myvit, only the upper portion of the person's body was discovered. While police are working on identifying the body found off Whipray Key, they believe they have been able to identify the human remains found in Elridgeville on Friday. Police believe they are that of Oscar Garcia, a resident of Independence Village.
This was on Friday last, where police were called to an area in Elridgeville shortly before midday, where they discovered human remains in some bushes. We have since conducted an investigation. There were several pieces of clothing which was found near the remains. We are following a lead at this point in time where it is believed to be one Oscar Garcia, who was residing somewhere in Independence Village. I must say that no official report or missing person report was made until yesterday, for which the family could not give us an explanation, as the remains seem to have been out there definitely over a month, and no missing person report was made.
A man from the Young Bank area of Tea Kettle Village died on Saturday night under questionable circumstances, reportedly after spending the night out at a popular nightclub with a friend. He is Julio Cesar Tizol, whose body was discovered along the Young Gal Road leading to the Valley of Peace Village. It is a long distance from his home in Tea Kettle, but only a minute's walk from his in-laws' residence. News 5's Paul Lopez has the story.
To meet Tizol's immediate family, we traveled about a mile into the Young Bank community. There we met his younger brother, Mario Tizol, who told us that he was on the phone with his brother hours before he died.
It was Saturday. He was at the club, Cabana, right? And we were having a conversation through message. And yep, he told me he was there, that he was going to go back home as soon as they closed. I sent him the last message. He didn't respond to me. Well, to me, everything was all right there.
About what time was that?
That was 11 o'clock.
Reports are that Julio Tizol was seen leaving this popular nightclub with a friend from Valley of Peace. Both Tizol and his friend, who is yet to be identified, reportedly left the location on Tizol's motorbike. Tizol, however, did not make it home to his girlfriend and 2-year-old son in the Young Gal area after leaving the club. And on Sunday morning, a passerby found Tizol lying dead on the road with a crushed skull, just a stone throw away from where his in-laws reside. According to Mario, the family would learn of Tizol's death until Sunday night.
The whole day of yesterday, Sunday, we were trying to call him and call him. No answer, so we went to look for him at the Young Bank village that he's supposed to be, right? Yeah. And we arrived there. They gave us the bad news that they found a body of a young person lying on the street. Immediately, we knew that it was him. I actually went to the place where he was lying. He was not there though. Yeah. We saw the blood. It was covered with sand. They tried to hide it, and I found his medal, his chain, a little heart. And you knew it was him, yeah.
The family believes that Julio's death was no accident. They say that his motorcycle helmet, his wallet, phone, and other personal belongings were not found on him. This has them questioning whether the friend he left the club with on Saturday night had anything to do with his death.
I don't know what, but there's a lot of stuff in their minds, in our minds. Anything could have happened. But I know it's not an accident. I know that someone did it. But knowing my brother, I know that he will never do anything bad to offend someone that will try to take his life.
He was socializing with some friends. We kind of got this information today, so we are working on that to verify whether or not that is so.
So there may be some sort of foul play involved. Is that an angle?
We do not know until the post-mortem results. Then we will know which angle that investigation is taking.
These guys that he were with, who were he with?
Were friends. Yeah. I may know some of them, I guess, but not really close to them, like friends, I would say.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A man has been detained by police following a fatal road traffic accident on the Lemonal Village Road. The detainee, who is expected to be arrested and charged, was allegedly riding a motorcycle in the area on Saturday night when he knocked down and killed Thomas Sutherland. Police say the driver fled the scene and was later found with a damaged motorcycle in his possession.
On Saturday, the 6th day of June 2021, police responded to a report that there was a male person on the Lemonal Village Road, motionless. Police visited the area where they found the lifeless body of a male person identified as Thomas Sutherland with injuries to the body. He was taken to the KHMH where he was pronounced dead on arrival. An investigation was carried into the matter, which revealed that the deceased was hit by a motorcycle in the area, after which the person on the motorcycle fled from the area. Also, a search of the area led to the recovery of the said motorcycle with damages. One person is now in custody and will be charged formally sometime today.
Banque Viejo. There has been a string of vehicle thefts in Banque Viejo del Carmen over the past few weeks, as persons living near the western border are being held up at gunpoint and robbed. Their vehicles are then transported into Guatemala. Police believe that there is a specific group of men behind these robberies, some of whom they can identify by name. Less than a week ago, a Bicol employee was shot and killed in Banque by men who stole his 2020 Futon pickup truck. The Pacheco family, residing on the border road, experienced a similar situation on Friday. Fortunately for them, no one was killed, and they were able to recover their vehicle after they alerted family in Guatemala.
The last one being on Friday last sometime around 11 a.m. police were called to border road where they learned from the Pacheco family that the family was held up by two men who were both armed, a dark complexion and a Hispanic male. They were held at gunpoint where the house was ransacked, and thereafter a vehicle, a dark gray Toyota Hilux, which was parked in the driveway, was taken by those persons. We believe that vehicle ended up in Guatemala, where upon conversing with the family, we learned that their family members in Guatemala were called, who confronted those persons who were involved in the vehicle theft, and as a result, they were able to secure the vehicle from those persons, and the vehicle was later brought back and handed over to the owner by their own means.
It seems to be an issue that police have been having a challenge to tackle and even prevent. Are these men outsmarting your strategies as they continue to commit this crime?
No, I don't think that is the case. What happened is that certain strategies are put in place. We have made efforts to cut off some of those areas that are used as escape routes. And these persons then find new escape routes by creating new off-roads in order to divert or bypass those areas that are being policed.
There is some intel floating around that the Bicol employee who was killed in Banque Viejo last week could possibly have been killed by these men during an attempt to rob him.
I'm not going to go into the details of that. I had said before on one of these press briefs that we are looking at a specific group of persons whom we have names for in some instances of some of those persons whom we believe are involved. So then it's a larger investigation that we are looking at several issues other than just one vehicle.
Coming up, a conversation with the Prime Minister. What he has to say about the Superbond, the unions, union ads, and his meeting with the President of Guatemala just ahead.
shine any weather. When we go bold, we go burger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go bold, we go burger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this place, when we say bold, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go bold, we go burger. When we go bold, we go burger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go bold, we go burger.
For a premium lubricant when you're on the go, or a premium brake fluid when you need to stop, choose the brand that's built for champions. Come to Premium Lubricants, distributed by Enrique Martinez & Sons Limited, 2 miles Philip Goldson Highway, Belize City. WhatsApp us at 606-4154.
Are you tired of poor customer service or products that don't live up to your expectations? Pletz Electronics, centrally located in Spanish Lookout and Belmopan, is Belize's #1 source for mobile electronics since 2009. We carry the largest selection of mobile phones, parts, and accessories with prices you won't find anywhere else. We stand behind the products that we sell and offer a 60-day guarantee on all electronics. We are dedicated to offering the best customer service possible. Not from the area? No problem. We offer fast delivery service countrywide on most orders. Our online staff is ready to chat on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Pletz Electronics. Visit or chat online with us today and find out how we can best serve you.
I strive to give my child the best nutrition, but I know it's not enough. It's also important to protect him. Klim Growing Up or Klim 1 Plus contains prebiotics, vitamins and minerals that help strengthen their immune system, helping them achieve 100% protection plus nutrition. That's why I give my child Klim 1 Plus. Klim, your love, their future. Klim 1 Plus is not a breast milk substitute from 1 year on.
DG and the National Bank of Belize are proud to partner with the Government of Belize to facilitate the disbursement of Belize COVID-19 cash transfer funds via our safe and easy-to-use mobile pays platform. After getting approval that you will be a beneficiary of the relief funds, you will be informed by SMS when your monthly payment has been deposited to your mobile pays account, which Digistore or National Bank branch you were assigned to, and when you can go in to collect. You must bring along the phone that the notification was sent to in order to present your account number and to receive your validation code and SMS receipt. You must also bring along a valid Social Security card. After your information is verified, you will receive a validation code which you are to give to the agent. The agent will hand over the full amount of funds allotted to you for that month, and you will receive an SMS receipt with a unique number for that transaction. Digi and the National Bank of Belize are committed to the development of innovative services for the benefit of all Belizeans.
2020 taught us the importance of being connected to the virtual world, and Nextgen is here to keep its commitment to you. Even if you're physically apart, Nextgen keeps you digitally connected.
Okay everyone, thank you for following me today.
Nextgen provides more than just an internet plan. They provide service plans that support all your online needs. Sign up today and get your Nextgen's ultra high-speed internet service. Nextgen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
What does live and let live mean to you?
Live and let live means everyone having the freedom to be themselves.
Live and let live means that I can be a mother and have a career.
It means treating people the way you would want to be treated.
And making sure your business is accessible for all Belizeans.
It means that everyone deserves to be treated with dignity and respect.
It means to love your children no matter what.
It means to support people who face discrimination.
It means that men and women should be treated equally at work.
It means that everyone is able to contribute to building Belize.
It means saying no to all forms of discrimination.
It means love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Live and let live. Respect for all Belizeans.
Last week, week, Prime Minister John Briceño was in Guatemala for an official visit with President Alejandro Giammattei. PM Briceño says that it's the first time a president has invited a prime minister from Belize for a one-on-one meeting. He told Open Your Eyes that they discussed a range of issues, from trade to security, education, and border issues.
But of course, it came down to the issue of the trade and cooperation, understanding that we have borders, and Guatemala is a huge country compared to us, and we have so many opportunities to be able to sell our products as it is. We're selling cattle and pork and eggs and chicken, corn, and there's so much more that can be done. But the president, like us in Belize, wants to formalize that. So we have already agreed that we are going to continue now to work on the partial scope agreement that we have, and that to expand that partial scope agreement to be able to sign agreements in the protection of investments in both in Belize and in Guatemala. So I felt that that it was a very, very good discussion, a fruitful discussion. The issue of security in the region came up, the issue of the narco trafficking. Guatemala has been investing as a country considerable amounts of monies in how they can follow these narco planes when they leave South America and they come into the region trying to land in Guatemala or Belize and on to North America. And what they have, they have a radar system that they can track them.
Yeah.
Guatemala is prepared to share that
technology.
How should I say? That data with us in real time. So that's something that our Foreign Minister, Minister Courtney, and along with our Minister Musa, that we hope that they will start to have talks as to how we can set up that cooperation and can also help us.
On the topic of the so-called Superbond, PM John Briceño says that his government will not continue to pay unless there are further renegotiations. As we told you last week, the bondholders have turned down the request for an extension of the coupon payment that was due May 20th.
Of course, we expected them to reject it, but I've said it when I was in opposition. For too long, especially the UDP, was just kicking the can down the road and claiming success when they were doing nothing but just sending this down the road. We said that we have to renegotiate the Superbond, and that we have to get, as what we call a haircut or a discount. Maybe that is a better word to express. As soon as we got in, we sent messages to the bondholders and said, we need to sit down and renegotiate the terms. Yeah. As it is right now, the bond, when we started, but when we were just elected, the bonds were hovering probably about 50 cents on the dollar. And so we said we need to negotiate. We sent them a letter and said that we were asking them for consent to extend the grace period from June the 11th, because we said to them that we do not have the monies to be able to pay. We show them our economic plan for the next 5 years as to how we're going to get where we are. So we have been very frank with the bondholders. Now, the bondholders, they can play hardball as far as I'm concerned. That's good for them, that's fine by them. But where will that put them? Now that they have tried to play hardball, the price of the bonds have gone down to about 30 cents on the dollar. So they're shooting themselves on the head. Because Belize is not going to go and borrow on the capital markets. We have no intentions of doing that. Secondly, their legal recourses are limited. They can't take us to court. We don't have assets outside of the United States. So the only way they can try to raise the price of that bond is by sitting down and having a reasonable negotiations with us. We simply cannot and will not continue to pay the Superbond the way it is. We have to sit down and negotiate as it is. And the longer the lower the price of the Superbond would go down.
The Prime Minister has been criticized for not engaging with the union leaders in meetings. Today, Open Your Eyes hosts asked PM Briceño about the status of matters with the unions and where they go from here.
We have done everything that we have been able to do. And in my last letter, I told them that that is the final offer that we can do and that we need to move on. We have a government to run. We have a country to fix. We have people that are in poverty and need to get back to work. And we're moving on. As far as we're concerned, we are always open to listen to the unions and if they have any other more discussions. But we can't finish something and then they come and send another letter. That was very political and that being very rude. No, they want 11 points. We are moving on. I'm sorry. We have great respect for the unions and for the work that they do. And I know that they have to try to, they have their political group that they have to pander to or their union members. But when you look at their Zoom meetings, I don't think 10% of their membership are involved.
Why did you not see it fit throughout the entire process to actually sit at the table with the unions in one of those discussions? At least to say, well, you know what? I am here. Let me hear from you directly what some of the issues are, as opposed to them only interfacing with representatives of your government.
You have the most senior ministers in my government. You have the Deputy Prime Minister. You have the Minister of Education. You have the Minister of the Public Service. You have the Minister of State in Finance that does the technical work to be able to try to address these issues. Now, I am prepared to come in to them if they're saying, okay, let's sit down and end here. But I will not go in an environment where I'll just go there and just to continue to talk and then bring another list of this and they want this and they want that. Guys, you know, have no clue how hard I'm working. I mean, the long hours that I work, I mean, pretty much every day from early to late at night.
As the union protests appear to wind down, some people are still upset about a series of ads that have attacked the unions and question the integrity of their leadership. Did Prime Minister Briceño approve these ads? That's what he was asked when he appeared on Open Your Eyes this morning. While he said the government didn't pay for the ads and he had no hand in creating them, he also didn't directly approve or disavow the spots which aired on TV, radio, and social media. Here's that exchange.
Let me make something very clear. The government of Belize did not spend a single dollar. A single penny in doing any kinds of ads of that. We as a government have kept it straight. But I guess there are people who believe that if the UDP are saying, if the unions are out there attacking us, are making the most baseless accusations, the most just I don't want to use the word, no, but pretty much just say whatever it is that comes to their mouth. Somebody have to put the other side to it, don't you think? It's not about attacking them. It's about pointing the other side Marlene, you can't fight with your two hands tied. It's important for people to see the other side, and that is what was done. It was done by me? No, it was not done by me. It was not done by the government.
The question, though, is, did you approve of it?
It's not something that I did as Prime Minister.
But did you approve of it?
Let me answer you again. I did not do that as Prime Minister. There are people that want to do that, and then I can't control them if that's what they want to do.
What it was attacking workers who are simply...
Well, I think, Marlene, respectfully, I respect your opinion.
No, it's a question. It's a question.
Let's end it as that. I respect your opinion. People feel different. There are many people in my party who felt so much stronger than saying that we're not doing enough to defend the position of the government. And I'm so it's the way how you look at things. You look at it differently, I look at it differently. Can you respect my position just like I respect yours?
Prime Minister,
we move to another question.
I was getting to the question, which was, the question was, do you think, on reflection now, that this entire matter could have been handled differently?
I don't know, you tell me. We have done as much as we can. It did not have to go there. I agree with you. But when you have certain leaders out there saying the baseless accusations against us, saying the most outlandish and outrageous things about us, obviously there are people in my party that would want to respond. Did I write those scripts? Did I approve them? No, that's not something that I do.
Prime Minister John Briceño also weighed in on the reopening of the borders to visitors only. As you'll recall, there was some opposition, primarily from doctors. But today, PM Briceño said it is all about achieving balance between safety and jobs.
We have to balance as to how and where we are. And we have opened up the airport successfully by putting strict protocols. We have opened up the free zone successfully by putting up strict protocols. At the free zone, we have had over 200,000 visitors so far, almost 300,000 visitors. And as you always say, knock on wood, we have not had a single case of COVID. So we believe that we already have the systems in place, and the very strict protocols that we implemented at the airport and at the border, we are going to do the same, at the free zone, we will do the same thing at the land borders, that we will be able to allow no tourists to come in. We're still not allowing Belizeans to travel freely, but we will be able to allow the tourists to come, because people need also to work, and we need to create an opportunity. And now as a government, then we have to find that fine balance between following the science and the medical people, but also looking at the issue of people needing to get back to work. Many times people don't even have enough to eat. And so we believe that the risk that we're taking will be worth it. But that the minute something we see that if it's starting to not work, we're prepared to close on the border immediately. We have spent so much money and we have gone through so much hard time to be able to be where we are. We're one of 27 countries worldwide that the United States have put us in category 2. Or stage 2. And so that's a massive achievement. And we're not just going to be reckless in dealing with that. So we are going to be very careful, but at the same time, our people need to open. Tourism is growing, is getting back on its feet way faster than what we expected.
After the break, she has been in custody for days, out of reach of the media. So how did a UK paper get its hands on Jasmine Hartin's statement to police? Find out what the police department says may have happened when we return. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
This COVID update is brought to you by Belize Medical Associates. This COVID update was brought to you by Belize Medical Associates.
Let the adventure begin with a bottle of Caribbean rum brought to you by Koyo's Distillery Limited.
In 2016, I saw the opportunity to be an agent, and I then became the youngest agent at the age of 23, ready for that first client to walk in my door. What I love about being an agent is honestly dealing with people, and I also get to appreciate every single person that steps foot in my office. I am your neighbor, I am your friend, I am your RFG agent.
Find your nearest RFG agent on our website at rfginsuranceBelize.com, where it pays to get it right.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Have you ever fallen delinquent on your loan payment? Don't know how to get back on track? Bounce back with St. John's Credit Union. Get 10 to 50% off interest and fee when you pay your arrears in full or make suitable payment arrangements on your account. Members who take advantage of this offer get a chance to enter a raffle to win fabulous prizes. Members are advised that this offer ends September 30th. Some conditions apply.
St. John's Credit Union Limited. Safe saving, smart borrowing.
Was Jasmine Hartin's caution statement leaked to international media who have been on the ground following the shooting death of Superintendent Henry Jamont? The Canadian national have been on remand since last Tuesday, awaiting a bail hearing for the charge of manslaughter by negligence in the death of the senior cop. On Friday, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions entered its submissions as to why the accused should not be given Supreme Court bail, and today, Hartin's attorneys filed their submissions ahead of Wednesday's bail hearing before Justice Herbert Lord. But over the weekend, detailed descriptions of what allegedly transpired in the early hours of May 28th were disclosed by an overseas media house. If true, how did they get access to Hartin's caution statement? There are several means through which that could have happened, But at today's press conference, Assistant Commissioner Joseph Mivett was asked if officers are being paid to leak information.
The matter was discussed at length, and yes, indeed, that is a concern. However, we must also take into consideration that not only the police officers had access to what was in that caution statement, Ms. Hartin herself had access to family members and she spoke to people. So it does not,
this weekend?
I would not be able to say it because she is at the Hartinville prison.
And she's in quarantine, correct?
I'm not sure of that.
My question, sir, is do you receive visitors in quarantine in general?
The fact of the matter is that police don't put anyone in quarantine, so that would not be a question for me.
But you were saying, sir, Ms. Hartin had access to the statement?
Of course she would have had access to the statement. If she made the statement, she knew what she said. And her attorney had access to that too as well. So it is not necessarily just looking at police, that only police had access to that information.
But it is a possibility that this information was
leaked. We are looking at that, and yes, it is a concern, but as I mentioned, it is not only the police department that had access to that information.
What kind of conversation do you have with your officers when these proposals are made? How do they handle it?
In terms of a caution statement that's recorded, that is kept with the investigator, but you must also bear in mind that a caution statement is not only recorded being from the officer and that accused person. Caution statements are recorded in the presence of justices of the peace, and at times, or most times, caution statements are video recorded. But yes, we are aware of the information and an investigation has been launched in relation to that.
Last week, both international and local media outlets gained access to a photograph of Hartin taken while she was in a cell at the San Pedro police station that was being offered for sale. Local media also revealed details of the shooting, similar to those presented in the caution statement before she was transferred to the mainland. And while police investigate how Hartin's caution statement could have been leaked and or sold to the international press, one media outlet in the United Kingdom seems to have based their Sunday edition story on portions of it. The Daily Mail reports that for the first time they can reveal details of the case, or what they term her story, and that, quote, although she has not spoken directly to the Mail, this newspaper understands that she told police the gun went off and he, Superintendent Jamaat, fell on top of her, bleeding, unquote. The paper continues to say that she told police that as she was wriggling to free herself and see if he was okay, he, quote, slipped into the water, unquote. According to the Mail, the 32-year-old Canadian woman is reported to have told police that she and Jamaat had been drinking on the pier in San Pedro on the night in question, and she had been practicing loading and unloading his gun. She claims it went off accidentally after the magazine became stuck. According to the Mail, she says she did not know there were any bullets in the chamber because she saw Superintendent Jamaat take some out and put them to the side. According to the Mail, the police officer, who has been friends with Jasmine Hartin for years, had suggested she got a gun following an accident at a party in Belmopan on May 22nd, when she says a man had become aggressive towards her. Hartin, who has 2 children with resort owner Andrew Ashcroft, has since been remanded to Hartinville prison after her attorney's bail application was rejected. An appeal was made to the Supreme Court. A decision on that is expected later this week. Because Jasmine Hartin is the mother of Sir Michael Ashcroft's grandchildren, the case has gotten considerable international press coverage, particularly from newspapers in the United Kingdom, such as the Daily Mail, which has sent reporters to Belize for interviews, photographs, video footage, and documents related to the case. On Friday, the Senate also debated the Income and Business Tax Amendment Bill 2021, which seeks to reposition Belize as an appealing option for the offshore financial sector. With many of the registered companies in the international financial services having pulled out of Belize, the governments want to create an attractive business climate. Here's more from the Senate's proceeding on Friday.
The truth of the matter is that our side, we really don't have very many qualms or misgivings about the proposed amendment bill. As noted last week by the Honorable Prime Minister in his introduction in the House, the IFS sector, International Financial Services sector here in Belize, has indisputably been in decline for roughly the last half decade or so, and that is across local licensed service providers, new incorporations by companies, as well as the annual license renewals by same said companies. Having lost almost 2/3 of its peak registered population, what the Honorable Prime Minister described as migration might more aptly be put as a mass exodus, with 2 out of every 3 companies that had been registered at its peak now having pulled out of Belize. In speaking with players across the country, players in this industry, the consensus seems to be that it is a combination of new regulatory requirements imposed by international bodies such as the EU, in tandem with more attractive terms present in territories that offer the same services. It's clear that the amendments as proposed are indeed necessary. The government seeks to regain Belize's foothold in this sector, and we on this side would certainly implore it to continue pushing measures that would not only achieve a leveling off, but consequently see the return of a growing and very robust sector in the country of Belize.
In effect, we no longer have an offshore sector. We have a hybrid, we now have an onshore sector that connects to international business and international persons. And this is where we have to look at how we conduct our business and how we develop our laws. With respect to concerns over requirements or obligations put on us by these outside parties, that is a concern that we seek to ensure that we address as we look forward to the development of this sector.
When we return, the uproar over communal lands. One southern community says no to outside investment. Details when we come back. Stay with us.
What is climate change? Climate change, or global warming, as defined by the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, is said to be the process of our planet heating up. The Earth has warmed by an average of 1 degree Celsius in the last century, and although that might not sound like much, it means big things for humans and wildlife around the globe. Rising temperatures is making our weather more extreme and unpredictable. Some impacts of climate change in Belize are flooding, drought, unstable weather patterns, and changes in seasons that affect agriculture, human, and wildlife activities. What is REDD+? REDD+ is a mitigation activity to reduce carbon emissions and increase carbon stock in the forest sector. The name REDD+ stands for Reducing Emission from Deforestation and Forest Degradation, plus Conservation, Sustainable Management of Forest and Carbon Stock Enhancement. How can REDD+ be a solution? Trees breathe the greenhouse gases we produce. We can start caring more for our forests by planting more trees and keeping our landscapes intact. our forests are part of the solution. Also, by encouraging the adoption of sustainable forest management in Belize, we can help restore forests that have been lost.
Forests are linked to all aspects of human well-being. Think about the clean air that forests provide, that oxygen that we breathe. If it wasn't so clean, especially during that fire season, we would actually be facing a lot of problems. So breathing clean air is something that we may take for granted, but it's actually something that forest provides and that contributes to our health and happiness. One of the advantages of doing things associated with REDD+ in Belize is that it actually is a great mechanism for us to be able to maintain forests while at the same time sustainably using them and keeping all the services and goods that the forest provides to us intact, for example, water. At night, it's the trees and the plants in the forest that actually release that water that goes up in the atmosphere and eventually comes back as rain. If we don't have forests, that water is gone. If we think about our food security and the food that we eat, the agriculture industry and how important it is for Belize, we don't necessarily associate it sometimes with actual forests. But it's those forests that actually feed the soil organisms that cycle the nutrients and make our soils fertile. It's those forests that are a house and home for pollinators that pollinate our crops. And it's those forests that maintain the water that our agricultural areas need to thrive. Otherwise, we would be subject to things like droughts.
There is hope with REDD+.
Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardena Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
A cease and desist order has been issued by the Forest Department to halt logging activities in the vicinity of Crique-Sarco Village. Late this evening, Chief Forest Officer Wilbur Sabido wrote to Gary Sewell, one of two investors, informing him that all operations under a private license issued under his name must be placed on hold forthwith. This succeeds a flood of concerns from villagers and stakeholders with respect to the consent order issued by the Caribbean Court of Justice, where communal land rights are concerned. The pair of investors was initially granted access to land within the environs of Crique-Sarco after getting a few villagers to sign a petition. It was later found that those who signed onto the handwritten document do not represent the majority of villagers. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
Crique-Sarco is among 39 villages in Toledo District whose land is owned communally under the Maya customary legal system. In 2007, the Supreme Court established Maya customary land rights as a form of property rights protected under the Constitution of Belize. This means that each village within the collective Maya territory has the right to decide who lives in the community, as well as how village lands are used. In Sarko, private investors are seeking to access land for the purpose of logging without consent from a majority of the villagers.
A concession was given to Mr. Karen Estefan and Gary Sewell of Belmopon, and they are the one that came into our land without the village council's consent. I know the alcalde gave them the okay, but the alcalde alone cannot give the okay, no, and we have to use the FPIC document, which the free, prior, informed consent of the community on a whole, so that you can grant any concession or any whatsoever that you need to get.
The constitutional rights of Maya communities require government officials to safeguard Maya lands from harm as they would the property of all other Belizeans.
If you look at our trees are very minimum because we don't have a lot of trees here. It's only, I think, enough for our children are growing, and if their children can get some lumber in the forest, they might do so. But if not, I don't think they will be able to get any more.
That is the primary concern for Andres Bo, a former alcalde of Sarko. As it is, there are hardly enough trees within the environs of the community. Of the pair of investors, Gary Sewell is well known.
I don't know much about him, but we were talking with the community about this investor coming into the village. And the community doesn't agree. Even we don't know what his background is, but they don't agree.
In February 2010, Sewell was apprehended after being on the lam for 3 years, following a request by the U.S. government for his extradition. He was wanted for his alleged role in a drug trafficking ring that saw the transshipment of cocaine to the United States. In November 2016, the Court of Appeal ruled in Sewell's favor and he was set free. His recent venture into logging, particularly in the indigenous community, is being met with objection. Jose Cook, chairman of Sarko, cites a portion of the CCJ's consent order that speaks to land tenure.
This undertaking includes, but is not limited to, abstain from A. Issuing any lease or grant to lands or resources under the National Lands Act or any other act. B. Registering any interest in land. C. Issuing or renewing any unauthorized for resource exploitation, including concession, permits or contracts, authorized logging, prospecting or exploration, mining or similar activity under the Forest Act, the Mines and Minerals Act, the Petroleum Act, or any other act.
Despite that piece of law, a petition with 58 signatures was used to obtain a concession. Residents are now seeking to rescind that decision.
I don't think the 58 had the majority to say, yes, we want this investor. But also the investor says, when the community say they don't want it, those people that signed wanted to turn back, and they said they will turn back.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
This evening, News 5 spoke with Greg Chuck, the Commissioner of Indigenous Peoples Affairs. 2 weeks ago, he sat in as an observer during a meeting held by village leaders in the community. What he saw was that there was discord between the village chairperson and the alcalde. Chuck explains what transpired during that meeting.
I went there because I knew that I needed to understand what it is that was occurring at the community level. And what became apparent is the fact that the alcalde and the chairman were not cooperating, and that led to one leader deciding to get 58 names of household in the communities, in the community, and submit that as to show that the community of Sarko is in fact have consented to such a proposal. But the chairman informed the community that that was not the case, that 58 members of the community cannot have the mandate to agree to any development in the community without the larger community having a say. And it was established at that meeting that there be a majority of the community to agree to such a proposal before it can be said that the community has consented. So what was determined was that they should sit down as a community and the leaders to work out how they want to demonstrate or to show that the community has in fact consented. What occurred afterwards is that the proponent was issued with a permit, and that has led to the opposition by the members of the community, including the chairman, who has came out publicly denouncing the permit.
Just ahead, they may not be going to the World Cup, but the Belize Jaguars are honoring their skills and upping their game. The story, and 2 volleyball players get athletic scholarships. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Available now at Bravo Motors.
We do our best to get the information shared on vaccines so you can make that decision. We aim to be accurate and timely, and will continue to do so for the development of our people and this country. We've lost too many of our loved ones to this disease. Here's the chance to protect ourselves and our loved ones. I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine. I will take the vaccine when it's my turn. Get vaccinated, Belize.
It is my time
to protect your life.
Don't wait to vaccinate.
I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine.
Do not hesitate, Belize. Vaccinate. Be COVID-19 safe.
The vaccine is the best way to protect lives.
Don't wait. Vaccinate.
If you care,
love them,
protect them,
vaccinate them.
Want to leave a lasting impact when you travel? Then travel locally. Make memories to treasure for a lifetime while making a difference. Make protected areas your next travel destination. With over 25 protected areas under the APAMO umbrella, the possibilities for adventure and education are endless. You can bond with friends and family while trekking through the jungles to discover natural pools and breathtaking views. Or take that snorkeling trip to the magnificent world of coral gardens and marine life. Then camp under the stars to end off that perfect day in nature. By visiting protected areas, you are helping to preserve valuable plant and animal life. You're building local communities, and you're keeping our natural and cultural heritage alive. You have that power. Travel locally and make an impact. We invite you to visit a protected area near you and discover the beauty of Belize's wild places. APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800 A Way Out or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
The country held its collective breath on Friday night as the Belize Jaguars competed against Nicaragua in the CONCACAF Nations League. It was Belize's final chance to qualify for the World Cup 2022 to be held in Qatar. Led by team captain Dian Macaulay and coach Dale Paleo, the team was defeated by the Nicaraguan team 3-0, and their opportunity to advance this time around gone. Executive member of the Football Federation of Belize, Marlon Quillen, says the outcome was disappointing.
It was disappointing to say the least. What's more upsetting to me was that 6 of our starters decided not to go on the trip. And of the 6, 5 of them did so a day or two before the trip left. So the coaching staff did not have an opportunity to replace them. However, we look beyond just the score. We look at the youths that made the trip, of the seniors that were mentoring these youths, and how they performed. If you notice, we are playing a different style of a system of play now, where instead of playing defensively and relying only on fast breaks, we're starting to play the ball from back, and we include goalkeeper in the plays coming up from behind. So we're playing much more possession football now. In the last 18 or so minutes of the game, we held on to the ball quite well. The youths and most of the players were the younger athletes, some of them teenagers, 17, 19. So that gives us an indication that the system of play that they've been practicing, because this system we have been using it in the youth national teams. And so it is working, the players are learning it. And we believe now that this is the time now to revamp how we do things, rebuild. And so after our post-mortem, once we get our coaches' report and the manager's report, as a federation, as an executive, we will sit down and we will plan the way forward.
The Federation now prepares for the 2026 World Cup with a focus on the junior national teams who have scheduled matches overseas and will train in the years ahead to make it to the senior team, the Belize Jaguars. But according to Marlon Quillen, the current national team has the upcoming Gold Cup and Nations League for which they will be representing the country.
What we have to look forward to is 4 years' time for the next World Cup, which will be in our region between Mexico, USA, and Canada. So, but in the meantime, once we decide what we do when it comes to this senior team now, which I believe we will bring in more youths and maybe some key veterans. and build around this core of players that we have right now. But in the meantime, we have every 2 years we have the Nations League and the Gold Cup that we can also prepare for. But once we start working with this group, this group, in 4 years' time, they will be a force to reckon with once we keep them together and playing friendlies and playing as much matches as possible. It's unfortunate, like as I was saying earlier, federations get graded by the participation or the type of participation they have in the senior league, the senior teams in tournaments. But there's so much more happening, so much work that the federation does.
It is often the dream of athletes to represent their country internationally. But to receive an opportunity to study and play the sport you love is totally a different thrill. Today, 2 female volleyball players signed contracts for athletic scholarships in the United States. They both trained at Lupita Kwan's Stars Gym in Belize City. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Their lives are about to change. Fatoumata Kamara and Gareth Bruce, both 17 years old, have received an opportunity of a lifetime to play Division I volleyball at Eastern Wyoming College in the U.S. The athletic scholarships were provided through the National Junior College Athletic Association.
We thank you all for continuing the hard work, the necessary work, as we continue to rise to the occasion and create pathways for our athletes to achieve the best they possibly can in their athletic and academic journey. We at BK believe we all have our roles to play in ensuring that we continue to work cohesively to promulgate our athletes to the highest level possible, so that when we represent the 501, we know that it is with the purpose of achieving what we set out to do, that is, to make our country proud.
Today they signed their letters of intent at the Stars Gymnasium on Princess Margaret Drive, where they had been nurtured for years to become globally competitive volleyball athletes. Both have represented the country on the national team, and their accomplishments were recognized. Both are hitters, one with a solid jump serve and the other with impressive setting skills.
I'm expecting to finish off with an associate's degree in criminal justice. I've been playing volleyball for about 6 years, and I'm from Bomapan, so I started out with the Bomapan team with Miss Yvette first, and she started me out at first, and then I moved on to more bigger things with Miss Lupita, and I started playing with the Stars volleyball team, where I have gotten way much better. So when I heard that I was going to get a scholarship to the US, I was really excited because I've always dreamt of playing abroad and representing my country.
I am going to further my studies at Eastern Wyoming College. I am going to major in accounting. It was an exciting feeling to have the opportunity to not only continue my journey in volleyball, but also in my studies, and it is going to be a great opportunity to not only represent myself, but my country and my fellow coaches and families.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.